अवज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु विघ्नेश्वरात् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो वृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्य कुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter number 4, verse number 13. And this is Sati is speaking to his father, because when she went to the place of sacrifice, she saw that there was no offering place for Lord Shiva, and she was also not received by anybody except the sisters and mother and sister of the mother. I think this computer is hanging. This recording?
This has recorded. This is very. It's stopped. The internet which is hanging. This has nothing to do with it. But is yours strong already? I saw it, but it seems it's stopped. It's stopped. Okay. You have to press record.
Okay. I didn't stop.
I didn't stop.
So she was very upset by this, and she realized that this is all the assembly of people who do not know spiritual principles. Basically, they are all materialistic people. That's what she realized. And she also realized that she is related to a person who is totally materialistic, and thus she decided to cut off her relation completely. to the extent that she decided to give up her body. Because what is the use of maintaining such a body which is given by a person who is very offensive to Lord Shiva? He said that Lord Shiva is the Supreme Person, means he is not envious of somebody. Na lokasya na yasya lokayati asti atishayan, and there is nobody who is superior to him, which indicates that Lord Shiva is not envious of anyone. Because you become envious of somebody who is doing better than you, or at least he is on par with you. You don't become envious who is inferior to you. So that's what she said, that you are envious of him because you cannot get his position, and therefore this is always bothering you. Usually among the relatives this problem exists, that if there are brothers and one is doing better and the other becomes envious. It's a very common phenomenon. Ambani brothers in India, they are the richest brothers, but always envious of each other.
Sisters also do the same thing. That is example also.
Sisters also.
Yeah.
But especially brothers, because they may be doing something together or be in the same place. Usually sisters get married off, go to different places. So they have less possibility. Not that they are more advanced, but just that they may be less together. So she said that he is supreme, therefore there is no chance that he is envious. Then sometimes you can also become envious if you like somebody and he is your very good friend, and then there is somebody who is his enemy, then you may not like that person. So therefore she said that Priyas Tatha Priyo, that he has no one dear to him. So that possibility is also not there. And although he is like this, then he may just not like some people. So he said Apriya, no one is Apriya, nobody is not liked by him. He is not like that, but everyone likes him. Devratam Priyam Atmana. So this showed that how he is such a supreme person. And then ultimately she said that he is Mukta Vaira. He is not having enmity towards anybody. This thing is just going on.
Yeah, I saw it.
I think some problem with the
Once
computer.
it starts.
Because with the internet also the same thing happened. It's not even stopping now. Let him close. So he's also getting influenced by Sati, trying to hang himself. And then she described the definition of sadhu and asadhu, which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave 4 divisions of sadhus: those who see even a small quality, even if there is a defect, they also see this as a good quality. And then number 2 are that they don't see the defects. Number 3 were that those who see a small good quality and magnify it, see it as big. And number 5 that even when there are no good qualities, they only see good. And similarly there are 4 asadhus, that they see only the defects even in the good qualities, or even when there are no defects, they see defects. If there is a small defect, they make it big. And other words, that guna bhavepi, dosa bhavepi, and there is no defect at all, then they see that actually there is no one good here. So 4 different types of people, and the idea was that Lord Shiva is the supreme sadhu, greatest person, and Daksha is the lowest of all. So that's why she said that you are mahattamasteshu avidvad bhavanabha, that you are ignorant and full of holes. So this is what she said, and now she continues further. He says, Nascharyamat etad yadasatsu sarvada mahad vininda kunapatmavadishu sersham mahapurusha padapansubhir nirasta tejassu tadeva shobhanam. So it is not indeed Ascharya that you are behaving like this, because those people who are attached to the body, they do such a behavior. Kunapa atmavadisha. Kunapa means this. Kunapa actually is a word which is used for dead body. So all the body is dead, but it looks alive because of the presence of the soul. But if we do not understand the soul and we are attached to body, then that is called Kunapa Atmavadi, considering only this body and the soul. So she says that that's what you are, and for such people it is not surprising that they will criticize the saintly people. Mahad Vininda. Why is that? Because they cannot understand the character or behavior of a saintly person. It is beyond their comprehension, and because it is beyond their comprehension, then naturally we find fault. Human mind works like this. We are always trying to compare others with ourselves, because we consider ourselves as the center and everything is around us, and then we compare and we make judgments. So mind works like that only. And we have a concept in our mind what is good and what is bad. Everybody has got some concept. So if it matches with our concept, then it is good. If it does not match, then it is a problem. So that's what Kunapa Atmavadi will also do. They are related, everything is related with body. And Mahatma or these sadhus, they are not related with body. So their behavior will look strange to them. And for that reason, they will criticize it. So therefore she said that Nascharya metad yad asatsu sarvada mahad vininda kunapa atmavadisya. That indeed, this is not very surprising that people behave like this, people like you. So then, Sersham Mahapurusha Pada Pansubhir Nirasta Tejasu Tadeva Shobhana. But she says that the sadhus, they do not bother about it. But the dust from the feet of these great persons, Mahapurusha, that will react. And that will give the punishment. And he said that this definitely is appropriate for such people, that they get punished. So this punishment will come to them, and because of this punishment, they will be rectified. That is the meaning. Because it says Tadeva Sobhanam. Actually it says that it is their beauty. So why it is their beauty? Sobha means beauty. That this only will make them free from that offense unless they are chastised. Otherwise they will continue doing this offense. So when they are criticized or they are chastised, then they come to their senses. And that indeed is their solution, and that is what makes them proper or appropriate. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that etatcha tadrishesu durjanesu uchitam eva ityah nanti. That in such a durjana or such people, this is indeed appropriate. So this mic will work for this or that, because now it is
only
working.
for the video.
So what about Ustream?
Oh, yeah, for any, for Ustream also. It's just an external microphone, so whatever you record in the computer will go through the microphone.
Okay. You mean now it will work for both, because it is working now.
Oh, Ustream is working?
Ustream is working.
Yeah.
Because it was hanged and I killed it. So now he has another birth. And this birth is free from the defect. Sometimes chastisement is good. But I don't know about your program.
It should not interfere.
So say kunupam jad shariram tadeva atma iti vadanti. So that body is called kunapa, and that they consider as their self. Tesu asatsu ya sarvada api mahad vininda itadasharyam. No. So these people, they are always criticizing the saintly people. This is not something very surprising. Kidrishesu pansubhir kartribhi sersham yatha syat tatha nirasta teja prabhava yesham tesu. So their prabhav, their power, their prowess, it becomes subdued by the dust of such great people.
That means it's taken away by the offense.
Yes, means they will lose that power. Yadapi mahanta swanindam sahante tathapi tat padarena vas tadasa mahana stesam tejo nirashyanti tiyata. Says that although the saintly people, they tolerate their own criticism, but the dust from their feet does not tolerate it, and therefore they lose their power, those who criticize. Ato asatsu mahad vinindanam eva samuchit faldayakatvat soham. Says therefore these people who criticize, this criticism itself is their shobha or their decoration. Why? Because it will give them the right result. It will bring them to their senses. That's why it is considered as sobnam. Sobnam means also it is appropriate, also it means it is there.
Is this an example of seeing a defect is good?
Not necessarily, it is just explaining that what happens to such people, because they are not doing anything. What she is hinting is that if someone criticizes, then the punishment will come, or then the person himself is not going to react. So in other words, if one makes an offense, then its reaction will come. So see, he has offended Lord Shiva. So the effect is bound to come. So not think that anyway Lord Shiva is very peaceful and does not become disturbed. So that's not true. Then Shiva glorifies Lord Shiva. I think now she is really feeling bad that she came here. And therefore she wants to establish Lord Shiva's supremacy. Yadvaksharam nam gireritam nirnam sakrit prasangādagamasu hanti tat pavitra kirtim tamalagya shasanam bhavanaho dveshti shivam shivetaraha. Says that if one just recites the name, these two letters, Shiva, Dvaksharam, Nam Gira Iritam Nirnam, Sakrit Prasangad, then it kills or destroys immediately all the sins of such a person. So he is Pavitra Kirti, he has most pure fame. And tam alangya sashanam bhavanahu dveshti. He is supreme, no one can chastise or control him. But you are envious of such a person who is called Shiva. So he says, therefore you are other than Shiva. Shiva means auspicious and Shivatara means inauspicious. So he said that no wonder that you are most inauspicious, that you criticize somebody who is auspicious. Because just as darkness and light, they are opposite of each other, like that Shiva and Shivetara. So Shivetara means opposite of Shiva. So that's what you are. Nacha mahatsu api madhye Sri Shivatulya kopi anyo asti ityaha yasya. And among the great personalities, nobody is equal to Lord Shiva. She describes this in this verse. Yasya dvaksharam Shiva iti tat prasiddham nam kevalam girair iritam natu manasadhyatam. That if someone just repeats the name of Shiva by the tongue, not even thinking with the mind, Tacha sakrita viprasanga, and that also even once, and that also incidentally, not that one actually thinks that I am going to chant the name. So that also makes one free from all sins. So this is Lord Shiva, that if he's just taking his name by the tongue can purify, then how great he is. And you are finding fault in him. Pavitra Kirti miti madhuryam. So Pavitra Kirti means this is very sweet, or he has sweetness. Alangya sasnam iti ashwaryam. So she is showing two features of Shiva. Pavitra Kirti says is the sweetness or sweet nature, and Alangya sasnam is his controlling, majestic nature. Alangya sasnam means that no one can go above him or against him, or disregard his words. That is the meaning of Alangya sasnam. So Shivetaro amangala, therefore you are most inauspicious person. Yat pada padamam mahatam manolibhir nishevitam brahmarasau arthibhi lokasya yad varshati chasishorthinas tasmai bhavan druyati vishwabandhave. So he is not just some ordinary person, that even the great personalities who are desiring to drink the rasa called Brahma rasa. Brahma rasa asava arthibhi means those who are trying to drink the nectar of transcendence. Yat pada padamam mehetam mano alibhir nishevitam. They render service to his feet. Just like the bumblebees, they go to the flower. So they worship him regularly or continuously. And his lotus feet gives blessings to people who desire material things. Lokasya yadvarshati cha asisa arthina. So not only materialistic people worship him, but even the great, learned, realized people, they also pay respect to Lord Shiva. He is such a person. So, and you are becoming envious or antagonistic to him, who is a Vishwabandhu. He is friend of the whole universe. So that means, except for you, there is nobody who is against him. If he is saying that he is Vishwabandhu, he is friend of the universe, obviously he is not friend of Daksha. That means you are actually not even part of this universe. You are so strange. Pap haratva muktam mukti pradatva mahayaditi. So in Vishwanath Chakravarti says that in the previous verse he spoke about Lord Shiva's quality, that he removes the sins of a person who chants his name. And in this verse she is talking about that he gives liberation also. So although the usual principle is that only Vishnu is the giver of liberation and not Shiva. So Mukti Pradata to Vishnu Eva. But here it is described that he gives also Mukti because he is a devotee. If he is worshipped independently as God, then he cannot give liberation. But if he is a Vaishnava, that is different. So Brahmaraso Brahmananda eva asavo makarandas tadarthi bhi bhoga pradattvah lokasya. So those who are looking for Brahmaras or Brahmananda or the bliss of liberation, so they also worship his feet, because great personality like Kumaras, they also worship Lord Shiva, and he also can give material blessings. Therefore materialistic people also they worship him. So this greatness of Lord Shiva is describing. Kim va sivakhyam asivam navidus tvadanye brahmadayas tamavkirya jataha smashane tanmalya bhasma nikapalya vasasti pisachairye murthabhir dadati tacharnavasrishtam. So earlier he has criticized Shiva, that this Shiva, what is he is very impure. That he was saying that he is just a Shiva in name, but if you see his outward appearance, then he is most inauspicious, because his dress and all his garlands from the skulls, and he is having this ashes from the cremation ground on his body, the bones hanging around him and his matted hair. So Vikirna Jatavi, Vikirya Jata, and he is living in cremation ground, which is most unclean place. In India, if you go to a cremation ground, you come back, you have to take bath with your clothes on. Everything has to be washed. And Lord Shiva is living there. That's his house. So, but he says that looks like that he is inauspicious. This is not known to anyone else except to you. It says, Kimva Sivakhyam Asivam Nividus Tvadanni. That except for you, Tvadanni, no one else knows this. Why is that? He says, because these great people like Brahmadayas Tamavkirya Jatasmasane, people like Brahma, they don't seem to know this, because they come and Murdibhir Dadati Tacharnavasrishtam. They come and they put their head on his feet, or they take the prasad of his feet, the water which has washed his feet, they put it on head, or they take the garlands offered to him. Tacharna srishtam, things which have fallen from his feet, they take it on their head. So maybe they are ignorant. So you have to educate them that what are you doing? If you do like this, then you will have no chance of participating in the sacrifice because you are impure. You become impure. So yaduktam shivapadeso hi ashiva iti, because earlier in the second chapter of this canto, in the 15th verse, he has made these statements about Shiva. That he is, actually his only name is Shiva, but he is most inauspicious. Shivapadesho hi asivo matto matta janapriya, and therefore he is liked by mad people who have no brain, who have no head on their shoulders. And they say, because Shiva actually has his associates, some of his associates don't have a head on the shoulders. They have their eyes on the chest. Because they are ghostly people.
What happened to the head?
Don't have,
They don't have it.
they're headless. So his associates are people like this who don't have a head above the shoulder. That's why he says Matta Matta Janapriya, that he is mad and he is liked by crazy people. So he said this earlier. And Preta Vasesu, that he is living in the Preta Vasesu Ghoresu Pretail Bhuta Ganayuta Atati Unmatta Vannagno Vyukta Kefo Hasangana. So he's like a crazy fellow, he runs around laughing, dancing, crying, with disabled hair. So she is referring to this, that you said like this. Yo jatav kirya smasane avasat tasya smasanasya malyani bhasmani nikapalani cha bhushnattvena santi yasya tam sivakyam. So he says that one who has his hair disabled, who lives in the cremation ground, and when dead bodies are taken to the cremation ground, then usually bodies, before you burn them, you also put some garland on the dead body, decoration of the dead body. In India, when someone dies, then he is given a bath, the dead body. He is given bath, and then you put on new clothes, and if their devotees are following some spiritual path, then you put the tilak, and then garland, and then you carry the dead body to the cremation ground. But then when you put the body on the fire, then you remove all this garland and they are thrown. So Lord Shiva is having these garlands. So he says that smasanasya malyani, and this garland from the cremation ground, and bhasmani, and then the ashes from that fire. So these are all considered as asuchi, impure. And nrikapalani, then you take the skull of the human beings and then you use that for eating. That is your bowl for soup.
Pumpkin soup.
Don't ask what is for soup though now.
So he says that these are his bhushanattvena santi, these are his ornaments. Tam sivakyam ashivam tvattvanye brahmadiyo navidu. So that person actually who is having all this, he is called Shiva. Auspicious, clean, pure. So he said that except for you, no one else knows that he is actually a Shiva or inauspicious, because Brahma, etc. They don't know this. Kim vidanti eva iti chetana tatha sati tesam tad dasya anupatyaritya. And if someone says, no, they also know what you are talking about. So then she says, no, they do not know. Because if they knew, then how is that they will come and do service to him and take his prasad, all this garland, etc. Tacharnadav srishtam galitam nirmalyam ye murdabir dharyanti. That the garland which has fallen from his feet, that prasadi garland, that offering garland they put on their head. So this looks like that they do not know this.
Is there a reason why Lord Shiva uses the skulls, the ash, and the garlands from the dead bodies? Is he absolving some karma of them, or is there a hidden reason for this?
Well, the reason, as I explained, because he is in charge of tamoguna.
Okay.
So he dresses with all these tamasic things to attract tamasic beings to bhakti.
Mm-hmm.
Because all these ghostly people are also tamasic with him, jumping, dancing, making twists and turns.
Yeah.
They are very, very
See
good
them in the
at.
discourse. Yes.
So, could you say
And
that this is an act of extreme compassion on the side of Lord Shiva?
Yeah, this is his compassion. He hides his personality to attract this type of people. So he remains hidden like this. Actually, Shiva is Krishna himself in the form of a devotee. That's why he has so much similarity with Krishna in his bodily features. He looks like him.
He makes himself the same colour with the ashes.
No, no, he has a color like that.
Oh, okay.
So is it this extreme compassion that makes him the greatest Vaishnava?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's also devoted to Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Very much, and he's doing this job. Otherwise, who wants to preach to this type of people?
There is a deity in Mayapur which is half Shiva and half Vishnu.
That is Harihara.
Yeah, Harihara, to show this, that they're so dear.
Also here also, I think, in Vrindavan also there is a,
Vrindavan?
they put this ling or something, I think, to,
I don't know.
no?
There are many temples in South India of Harihara. That front side is Shiva, back side is Vishnu, like that. Or, yeah, that is the type I have seen.
Yeah.
The deity. If you see from the front side, it is Shiva. If you see from the back side, it is Vishnu.
He is also considered different tattva though, right? He is Vishnu tattva and Shiva tattva.
No, he is a devotee. He is not Vishnu Tattva. He is a complicated Tattva. Basically.
It's many
It's difficult to
more.
understand. So this is what I was explaining in my class this morning, that absolute reality it manifests at various levels. And that is because there are various types of consciousness of people. So to attract different consciousness, to give them chance that they become attracted, he has various manifestations. As Krishna says that ye yatham mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamihim, that as one surrenders to me, approaches me, then I also manifest in the same way or reciprocate similarly. So there are different levels of manifestation. Absolute reality, highest is Krishna, and he is most blissful, means the complete consciousness. And from that also comes the matter, which is just inert. So from that supreme consciousness to the inert matter, there are so many manifestations in between. So he manifests himself as Vishnu Tattva, and then there are Gunavataras, so in between is the Shiva Tattva, and they are living entities, Jiva Tattva. And there is matter Tattva. So all various grades of manifestation of one reality. And then of course we have so many other minor devas, deities. So now she speaks one very interesting verse. And this is what if you are in a situation that somebody is committing an offense. So what do you have to do? It is clear that we should not commit offense. But what if someone else is committing offense? Then what is our proper behavior? How do we have to act? This is also very important, because in spiritual life, especially in the path of bhakti, this offense tattva is very important tattva. Because if we don't understand this, then there is very little chance that we make progress.
What is the number of this verse?
This verse is 17, 4:17. And that's why this story of this Daksha sacrifice is a very important story for Vaishnavas. It has so many philosophical points which we have been reading to understand how one has to behave and what is the situation of Shiva, how he has to be treated, because especially in India there is a lot of confusion about Shiva Tattva. So she says, Karno pidhaya niryadaya kalpamishe dharma vitari shrunibhin nirvirasya mane chindyata sayyarasutim asutim prabhusched jivhamasuna pitato visujeta sadharma. So he says that this is the dharma. Dharma means behavior, how you have to act. What is the dharma? He says that if somebody is criticizing, dharma vitari ashribhi nirbhir asyamani, ishe, that Lord Shiva or some great person is being unnecessarily, what you call, accused. So criticizing is not the right word. Is being accused by people asranibhi, without any reason, frivolously, you can say. This person who is dharma vitari means who is a protector of dharma. Shiva is a great devotee, and he is being accused, or someone is finding fault in that person. So he says, first thing is karno pidhaya niryad, that you close your ear and get out from there. Don't listen to the criticism. Yada kalpam, if you are not able to stop him, if you have the power to stop him, then you do that. Otherwise, you yourself go away from him. And chindyat prasahya rusutim asatim prabhushet. If you are Prabhu, if you are capable, then you can cut his tongue. So that person will never criticize anymore. Cut the root. So if there are no bamboos, then there is no flute. There is no tongue, there is no criticism. So Chindya Prasahya, Prasahya means forcibly. Forcibly you catch him and cut his tongue. Rushatim, Asatim. Why? Because this tongue is a Rushati, is speaking nonsense. And it is Asati, it is unchaste. Tongue is As you know, it was stated earlier by Sanaka Rishi that the tongue which does not glorify the Lord, then it says Jivha Daduruki, and it is the tongue of a frog. You've seen the frog, they have a big tongue. You've seen the frog tongue? And they are very good at catching the flies, mosquitoes, so that is a good job they do. But they also croak and invite
Snakes.
their own death. So that is called the tongue of a snake, the tongue of a frog. So the proper use of tongue is actually to glorify the Lord. This is what Sanagrasi was saying somewhere here. Somewhere in second canto. So therefore, if that is not happening, then it says, what is the use? Below Batoru Krama Vikramani Yena Srinivata Karna Putena Rasa Jivasti Daduriki Eva Sutana Chop Gayati Vrugayana. It says that the tongue which does not sing the glories of the Lord, of God, then this is the tongue of a frog. It is asati. Asati is the opposite of sati. So sati means chaste. And chaste means, the word is used for a wife, chaste wife, means who is devoted to husband. That is called sati. That is the meaning of the word sati. And asati means who is unchaste. Means not devoted to the husband but having a paramour, having illicit relation. So like that our tongue is actually meant to speak about God, talk about God, sing about God, chant God's name. But instead it is only talking nonsense. So that means it is unchaste. So therefore it should be punished. And asunapi tato visujet sadharma. If you are not able to do that, then you give up your own life. Then you can commit sati. So you see, said that this is the dharma. This is the proper behavior.
Then what does, if sati means chaste, then what does it mean to commit sati?
That means to give up your life. That is a secondary meaning.
Okay. To give up your life is the secondary meaning.
Yes.
Okay.
There is one more point explained in Rajsua Yajnas in Krishna's Leela,
What is that?
that you leave the place right away.
And the Srimad said, Prano Pradhaya Virya, that you close your ear and go on.
But what is the difference? Because there it said if you're not able to do that, if you're not able to defeat the person, then you leave the place. And then it said if you're not able to cut out the tongue, then you commit suicide. So
You should cut out his tongue and then commit suicide.
No.
Your tongue, the person's
That's the kind of version.
You can't leave.
Okay, let's see the modern commentary. So this was when Sati was speaking, because at that time there was no court.
There was no
There was no court.
court. Oh, okay.
No lawyers, no court.
If you kill somebody, then police will not come behind you.
Yes.
So you have to have your own power. And if you are powerful enough, then you work like that. But now even if you are powerful enough to do that, then there is a state government.
Yes.
There will be police complaint and you will be caught. So what do you have to do in this situation? You have to. So first he is talking He's giving a big explanation. He says, Nanu tvam sadhum lakshyanti pareshu dosa darshanam nisiddhesi atcha mam vipram prajapati tvena jagat pujyam pitram api nindasi tvam api asadhu tara eva. So now Daksha has a good point. He says that very well, my dear daughter, I understand that you are very learned and you have given the definition of who is a sadhu. You have also defined who is a sadhu. So after giving the definition of the sadhu, you are saying that we should not find fault in others. I agree. But my question to you is that I am a Vipra. I am a Brahman. Twice born, you can see my thread. And not only that, I am a Prajapati. This is a post. It's a very honorable post. Means that I am the master of the people, like a king. And not only that, I am an emperor among the Prajapatis because I am Prajapatipati. Because he was installed the chief of the Prajapatis. So I am the emperor of the Prajapatis. And therefore I am Jagat Pujyam. I am worshipable by the whole world. I am no ordinary being. And especially for you, I am your father. So Pitri Deva Bhava. Father is to be treated like God. So with all this, what are you doing? You are only accusing me, pointing finger at me. So don't you see that other fingers are towards you? You are putting one finger to me. What about the rest is towards you? So then who are you? You are a worse asadhu. So Tomapi asadhu tara eva. Not only asadhu, but asadhu tara. The worse. So iti tatra samprati nindayah ka varta. So now she replies to this. This verse is like a reply to if Daksha says like this. So she is saying that, what to speak of accusing you, I should actually kill you. So forget about me being sadhu and you being great. I should actually shoot you if I had a gun. But guns were not allowed in India. You need a police license. So she says that Samprati nindayah ka varta shiv disham tvam yad aham na hanmi yesha me maha aprada ityartha. That I should actually kill you instantly. I am wasting time in accusing you. Why? Because you are such an offender to Lord Shiva. And because I am not killing you, this itself is a great offense on my part. So you forget about that sadhu business which we talked. This is something beyond that. This is now we are dealing with the offenses. And when it comes to offense, then there is a different ball game, and they say. There are different rules. Now this whole thing, father, daughter, respect, this is beyond that. Those are the rules of Varnashram system. That this is sin and this is piety. Offense is related with spiritual life. So she says that actually I am myself being very offensive. That you are such a hater of Lord Shiva and you are accusing Lord Shiva, who is the greatest Vaishnava, and I am not killing you. So this is a great offense on my part. Therefore now I am going to tell you what is the proper behavior in such a situation. And why I am not killing? Because I am not able to kill you. I am a woman. How can I kill you? Your daughter. So he says, Dharam Tattvam Srinu. Now you hear the subtle principles of Dharma. So then she speaks this verse. Karno Pidhaya Niriyadi Dakalpe Ishe Dharma Vitari. So Dharma Vitari, Dharma Rakshe, Rakshake, Mahattame Ishe. That Lord Shiva, who is the protector of Dharma, that's why he has his carrier is a bull. You know that Lord Shiva rides a bull. So bull is a representative of Dharma. So means he is riding on Dharma. That is the significance. So Mahattame Ishe, Master of Asrini Bhir Nirankusai Nirvir, people who are not controlled by anybody like you. Asya Mane Adhikshipya Mane. If they criticize somebody like Shiva, then what do you have to do? Karno Pidhaya Niriyat Nirbachet. Close your ears and just leave that place. Yat yadi akalpaha hantum martum vayadina samatyasyat. If you are not able to kill him, or you cannot kill yourself, then you go out from there.
Oh, so if you can't kill him and you can't kill yourself, maybe you're grown enough, then you
leave the place.
Okay.
And Prabhu's Ched yadi cha samartha syat ityartha. And if you have the power, if you are very strong physically, and you can cover yourself legally, then what do? Then you can cut the tongue. So tada asatam nindakanam rosatim alik akalyana vadinim jivham prasaya baladeva chindyat. Forcibly you can cut the tongue. Tato api ninda shravanam prashittam kuruyan swayam pranan visrajit. And after that you should give up your body, because to do an atonement for hearing the criticism. Or he gives an alternative meaning. Yadva jivva chedna yadi sa nindaka pranan visrajet tada dharma. Or by cutting the tongue, if this person dies, whose tongue you cut, then this is very good.
Fundamentalist.
He says this is the dharma. Tasya ananta narak bhoga prasamanat tadvada lakshano adharmo na bhavati. Why is that? He says that after that he does not have to go to hell for a long period of time. And you don't have to kill him. So this way, this is better that he dies himself. So tatra iyam vyavastha. So now he gives a proper explanation. Of course, this is in Varnashram system. It says, Kshatriyasya dande adhikarat saiva nindak jivham siddhyat. He says a Kshatriya, he has the duty to punish others who are the wrongdoers. Brahmana's job is not to punish a wrongdoer, nor Vaishya, nor Sudra. So if somebody is a royal person, means if somebody is in power, ruling power, or these days someone is in the police, of course you have to first have a court case and prove that he is doing it. So he says that only a Kshatriya has the right to chastise, correct and punish. So only he should cut the tongue, not otherwise. The others should not think of cutting the tongue. So therefore, don't think of cutting the tongue. Because nobody is a Kshatriya here. So this option is not for us. Aparesham anya dande anadhikritanam. So others who do not have the right to punish anyone, for them three classes are remaining, Vaishya, Shudra and Brahmana. Vaishya, Shudra, Tanu Tyagarupam Swadandam Eva Kuryatam. Then Vaishya and Shudra, they should give up their own body and punish themselves for hearing.
Wow.
And Brahmanasya Sharir Danda Anochityat. A Brahmana should never commit suicide because Brahmanasya Dehoyam Nikshudra Kamaya Kalpate. The body of a Brahmana is not meant for petty things. It is Tapsa Krichya Pritya Anantaya Chanati. They are supposed to perform austerity, education and become liberated. So Brahmana's body is very special. So he says that Satu Karno Pidhaya Vishnu Smaran Ringachet. He should just close his ears, thinking of Lord Vishnu, should leave the place. So this is the
See, even in modern days, you see the judgment is different based on the class.
what is that?
Modern day, they said every punishment should be equal to everybody.
Yeah, because
You
in modern
cannot.
day everybody is equal.
Yeah,
Everybody is of one class.
class.
But why, I mean, why they're not taking action on the person who is committing the offense? Why commit suicide?
Because you don't have the right to do that. It's like now also in the modern society, if someone commits crime against you, then you are not supposed to take action against you. Your duty is to go and report to the police. And then it is the court who will give the judgment what punishment. If you do that, then you are taking the law in your hand and you will also be punished.
What type of atonement do the Brahmanas need to perform?
And you just go out.
So that's enough.
Yeah.
But you see, if there's no law in the country, no police, and the police they are criminals themselves, what do you do then?
Then what you do then, you are not a policeman, so you can take samadhi. No, because you are a Vaishnava, and Vaishnava also should not give up his body. So you should just get out from there. Because a Brahmana is not supposed to commit suicide, but to speak of a Vaishnava. Because our body is meant to serve the Lord. It is even more valuable than the body of a Brahmana. So Vaishnava should also live.
Has this ever been put into practice in the history of one ashram?
I don't
People's
know.
tongues were cut out and
Maybe there, everything is not recorded in history. But probably there are instances like this.
One of the options is if you had the power to stop them speaking the offences, you should do that. Right? So what does it mean if you have the power? Because if you get into a verbal argument with them, you're only going to hear more offences. So what does it mean, the power to stop them here actually physically?
But was that one of the options?
Hmm?
Was that one of the options?
Yeah, there was 3 options.
Yes.
Block your ears and leave.
Yes.
If you had the power to stop them, then do so.
No.
Or leave immediately. Or if you can, forcibly cut out their tongue.
Commit suicide.
There was no such thing in that power to stop.
I heard that.
I also wrote it.
Yeah.
The first option said, oh,
No,
so
it
you
doesn't.
can get out.
It said that if you are not able to kill him or kill yourself, then you go out. That's what they said. What I said was that if the tongue is cut, then it stops him from criticizing. Because you cannot criticize anymore.
So that leaves 2 options.
3.
No, there are 3 options. I don't know what you're saying.
There is one more given in the
One is you walk
last
out,
verse
one
is
cut
four.
the tongue, and one you give up your body. So, basic thing is don't listen to criticism, ninda, and becoming this, all this taking, killing, is going to land you in trouble.
So for that, we need to have a clearer understanding of actually what is criticism. Because criticism can be overt or even a subtle innuendo that is very negative. And
What do you think is criticism?
what do I think it is? Criticism. It's not based properly on the truth, and it's negative statements. Negative statements not based on the truth.
So that's what criticism is. Criticism, as he has said, that to see even defect in the attribute, in the good quality. So criticism basically means that you try to minimize someone's position. The person is not like that, but you try to put him in a bad light. That is criticism. And your purpose is actually to disrespect. And prove that somebody is not what people think of him. That is criticism.
So, can it be said that speaking the unpleasant truth to somebody who doesn't have the nerve to hear it, and then he takes it as a criticism and feels offended? Where does
So
that stand?
that also you have to see why do you have to do that? What is the intention? You may speak unpleasant truth, but what actually is the intention? Because again, are you trying to just minimize that person, put him in bad light, even if it is truth? So why do you have to do that? Is it your responsibility? Are you trying to help somebody? Or are you just taking pleasure? You see, usually when you criticize, you take pleasure in it. Why do you take pleasure in criticism? Because the real intention of criticism is to show that I am superior and this person is inferior. I am better and he is lowly. He has defects, I am perfect. He is doing something which I will never do. So when you speak with such intentions to minimize, then that is criticism. So it gives a sense of pleasure, satisfaction, because you feel superior, your ego is feeling good about it.
So even speaking the truth with the wrong intention can be a criticism.
Yes. Because everybody has something. But why you have to speak? What is the intention? And first of all, we may not understand a person correctly. Even if someone is behaving in a particular manner which you think is wrong, I may not understand why that person is doing. I make my judgment. That person may actually have a valid reason and may not have any bad intentions. So then I make comments, make judgments, and then I tell it to others and feel good about it. That means I'm just criticizing it. As you see that he was saying that I'm going to tell you Vrittam cha sadhunam Ajnanatna matsaryat when Daksha started speaking, he said, I'm going to tell you the behavior of the sadhus, and don't think that I'm speaking out of ignorance or I'm criticizing, accusing out of envy. So usually people say like this, don't think that I'm trying to find fault. I'm just saying it like this.
So then to guard oneself against the offense of criticizing, one has to, before making a judgment, observe one's own intention.
That is most
Carefully.
important. That what is my intention in speaking? Why am I saying it? So as we know why Daksha was speaking about Shiva, he could have kept quiet, even if Lord Shiva did not stand up. He could have sat down and just ignore it, condone his action and continue with the sacrifice. But he did not condone it, he made it highlight. Even many people would not have noticed it, he made it known to everybody. Look. And then how much he spoke. He's having all these skulls around him, bones, ashes, hairstyle, he does not comb his hair. How can he comb his hair? He's living in Himalaya, there is no mirror there. So what can he do? So this was just, and he was taking pleasure in it.
So if you hear somebody comes to you, right, and starts speaking things that are not correct about a Vaishnava, okay, and they come to your house. They're in your house, right? You can't leave. It's your house, but you tell them go.
Yeah, or tell them not to speak like that.
Right.
Even if you don't want to tell them to go, you can say, well, please don't speak like this because I don't think that what you are saying is right. And anyway, I have no interest in this topic.
Okay. I remember one incident where a devotee I knew for many years started speaking badly about a devotee. And she had just been misinformed. So I was countering with other information too. But that also meant hearing her response, which was again more bad words. So from that, and from this what I'm hearing tonight, is it correct to assume just don't get into this? Just
Yeah, especially if you don't have strong argument or ability to actually convince the other person.
because
Because if you do that, that will also be very good. Because then you are also protecting this person getting into the criticism. So that's why he said that Yadakalpa. I mean, that is a commentary. It says that Karno Pradhaya Niryadu Yadakalpa, that if you are not able, what you are not able is not clear here. So you can also take this as a meaning that if you are not able to counter that person, then you leave. Then you stop. So basically, these are three possibilities which are given here, but the main crux of the matter is not to criticize and not to hear criticism. That is the important point to be understood, because that is very dangerous on the path of bhakti. As he said earlier, that even if the person tolerates, then still you will get reaction for that.
And you mentioned before that.
And it is actually a psychological thing. So you have to understand, bhakti is the topmost science of psychology. So what is the psychology behind this offense? Is that in bhakti we want to be with God. and we want to be with the devotees of God. And not that we have to be just living in a community, but we have to cooperate with everybody to serve God. And cooperation is not possible if we have this mentality of seeing defects and making all these defects magnified, augmented. So this mentality has to be removed before you become part of Krishna Lila. Because this will be a very big problem. Then you will waste your time simply looking at others' defect instead of doing devotional service. What will you be engaged in? Criticisms, fault finding. You will waste your time, others' time, and pollute others. That is one thing. Second thing is that it goes against the principle of love itself. Bhakti, the perfection of bhakti is prema. You do sadhana bhakti, then bhava bhakti, then prema bhakti. So prema bhakti and criticism of the object of love cannot get along together. So you may say, well, we don't criticize Krishna, we are only criticizing another devotee. But Krishna is not going to feel happy if you criticize his devotee, because he is a devotee of his devotee, Bhagavan Bhakti Bhaktiman. It says, Sadhavo Hridayam Mahyam, Sadhanam Hridayam Maham. So, Te na nirjanati na ham tebhyo managapi. That sadhus are in my heart and I am in the heart of the sadhus. They don't know anything but me and I don't know anything but them. So criticizing devotees is also criticizing Krishna. So if we want to be with Krishna in a loving exchange, in a loving relationship, then this is going to be an obstacle, direct obstacle. So therefore this mentality has to be removed completely right here. And that's why offense is the only thing which blocks bhakti. Bhavopriya bhavamayati Krishna preshta paradhata. Krishna says that even bhava can become an abhava by doing an offense to Krishna preshta, to a very dear devotee of Krishna. So in Bhagavatam, in these stories, besides explaining what is bhakti and various levels of bhakti, one of the things which is also explained is offense. That's why the story of Chitraketu, the story of Shiva here, these are very important incidents to teach us. The story of Gajendra, this king. So there are many stories which are related to this aparadha thing.
What about if criticism is done institutionally by groups against other groups, which we see? Where does this, how do you relate to this? How do you act in this situation?
Well, that also again I'm saying that you have to understand the
institution, the group.
Well, then why you have to be supportive of it? After all, group criticism means it's not that few hundred people getting together and then criticizing. It's somebody, one person who is writing and others are saying, I like it. You know how many have someone on the Facebook, then you say something, then you have thing there, you like it? So ultimately, whether it is group, in the group also it is some individual who is doing something and then you become his follower. So don't do that.
What if one really does not know? One is totally ignorant and one hears wrong information which is actually offensive, but the person who hears it has no clue and just thinks that's how it is.
Yeah, that's why you have to study Shastra. Bhakti is not in ignorance. It's So bhakti is illuminating. So that's the importance why we have to study Shastra. Otherwise you just chant Mahamantra, everything is there in it. And many times people say, why we have to study Shastra? That's why we have to study Shastra. Otherwise chanting Mahamantra is enough. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nissarva Shakti Tatra Arpita. All the power, everything, because mantra is Krishna himself. But we will not know what is an aparadha and how to avoid it. So that's why we have to study it. And that's why so many books are written to explain these things. Otherwise, they say that bhakti is very simple and very easy. It's a fact. But if we are not offensive, if we are sincere, if we are straightforward, we don't have this mentality of being proud and being critics, then it is simple. When that is not there, then it is complicated. Because we have to know all these things and how to get out of our mindset, which is blocking our progress.
Here in the example it was said that when a person has his tongue cut out and dies, he doesn't have to suffer in hell for a long time. In the case of a Vaishnava, bhakti is blocked, but could he also go to hell for that?
Hell means suffering. What is hell? What is hell? Hell means that your bhakti is blocked. That is suffering, that is hell. If someone is criticizing and then because of that offense he is out of devotional service, then what is it? Therefore it is said that for a devotee heaven and hell are same. So Sarva Narko Apvargopi Tulya Artha Darshana. Why it is same? Even liberation is same, they say Tulya Artha, equal. Because if your goal is devotion and you are unable to perform it, then whether you are in heaven or in hell or in liberation, it is all same. If you are hungry and I put you in a very nice AC room, comfortable sofa, sit down, watch TV, but I don't give you food. Or I put you in a hut on a mat and I don't give you food. So what is the difference? Thing is that you are thinking, when will I get some food? You are not bothered about this TV program. You are dying with hunger. So it is same. So therefore that's what it means. That means that this itself is an atonement for him, and then he will quickly be given a chance to again be in the devotional service.
Sometimes a situation will arise where we have to correct even a Vaishnava for some reason, because we have to work sometimes together, and it's not so easy, because sometimes they take it as criticism. You say you want to correct them and your motive is good, and then they think it's...
Yeah, so you have to also see that whether when you want to correct, first of all, whether is it your responsibility to do that. Second, whether the other person is actually going to take it that way or not. So this has to be, even if you have your son and you want to correct, you have to be very tactful if the son is grown up. Because you know that he's not going to listen to you if you just say like this. So then you have to be very tactful in that. That's why this whole parokshavad, that God actually wants to correct us, but we are not interested in that. So then he is using a tact. He is being very tactful. Parokshvada means tact. Tactic. So it's tactic. Strategy. And he uses strategy how to fix this person's mind without upsetting. Otherwise, if he gets upset, he will not listen to him.